Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of Ramadan Reminders 2025, presented by the Muslim Council of Hong Kong. So today's topic is about the just character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bilqisti shuhada'a lillahi walau ala anfusikum awil walidaini wal aqrabin in yakun ghaniyan aw faqiran fallahu awla bihima فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تؤردوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not personal inclination lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed Allah is ever of what you do aware. We can see how this verse pretty much sums up what justice is. It is of putting the truth above everything else, even if it be against ourselves or our parents or our relatives. It is about standing firm even if it is difficult, and to not let our personal inclinations get in the way of being just. It is about not letting pity for the poor person or favoritism towards the rich person get in the way of giving truthful testimony, because Allah is sufficient as their wali. You don't need to worry about what will happen to them. Allah is more worthy and more sufficient for them than you are. So be just and do not follow your desires. And do not falsify your testimony or refuse to provide it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Khabir. He is well aware of what you do. This is the standard of justice which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from us as Muslims, and this is exactly the standard that our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam exemplified. According to some ahadith found in Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari, there was a woman from the tribe of Banu Makhzum who used to deceitfully borrow things from people and then deny having taken anything. When news of this reached Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he resolved to inflict the prescribed hudud on her. Since she was from a noble family, the Quraysh were greatly concerned about her case. They wanted to intercede on her behalf, and thus sent Usama ibn Zayd, the adopted grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whom they felt would have an influence over him. So when Usama interceded for her with Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the color of the face of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam changed, and he said, "Do you intercede with me in a matter involving one of the legal punishments prescribed by Allah?" Usama, regretting what he did, said, "O Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ask Allah's forgiveness for me." So in the afternoon, Allah's Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam got up and addressed the people. He praised Allah as he deserved, and he said, "Amma ba'd. The nations prior to you were destroyed because if a noble amongst them stole, they used to excuse him, and if a poor person amongst them stole, they would apply the legal punishment to him. By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, stole, I would cut her hand." Then Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave his order in the case of that woman, and her hand was cut off. So we see here the justice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For those who like to cast aspersions on the truthfulness of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, let them look at this hadith and see how he did not even put his own daughter Fatima above others when it comes to justice and implementing the laws legislated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not let his emotions sway his verdict, even when approached by his own beloved grandson, or even the fact that this woman was from a noble family. This is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the ayah I recited earlier, and his character was the exact embodiment of that. But unfortunately, what we see instead nowadays is the exact opposite. People in high positions get to launder hundreds of millions of dollars of people's hard-earned money to overseas countries and continue to live a comfortable and luxurious life because of their social influence, whereas the poor people who robbed a shoe from a mosque are beaten with sticks and stones. No doubt that theft is theft, whether it's a shoe or a dinar. But then why isn't the law applied equally on those stealing the equivalent of 100 million shoes? As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the nations prior to you were destroyed because if a noble amongst them stole, they used to excuse him, and if a poor person amongst them stole, they would apply Allah's legal punishment to him. So my brothers and sisters, as Muslims, we need to follow in the footsteps of our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We must be just even if it is difficult or if it goes against our desires, and put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the disposer of affairs. So this Ramadan, let's try and adapt this character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakumullahu khairan for listening. Please follow us for more reminders, and please like and share to benefit others. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.